What's up, guys? It's Matty here, mixandmastermysong.com. Today we're going to be doing something very special, which is doing a vocal mix in Studio One using just stock plugins. Now, this is something new for me. I usually use UAD plugins and Waves and all sorts of other ones. So doing something with the limitation of just these plugins will be something cool, and we'll see if we can get a professional sounding mix out of it. I'm sure we can. So before we get started, if you could please subscribe and like, I'd really appreciate it. Let's go. All right, guys, so here is the song. This is another song by my buddy Meekins, who always lets me use his songs. So here's the beat. I just got a 2-track beat. I didn't import all the stems, just the beat. And then the verse, and then he's got a double left and a double right. So this is what he sent me over. So all I've done is gotten the tempo of the song, which is 86, imported the beat, and imported these vocal stems. So what we'll do first is take a listen to this. Oh, and I panned the vocals left and right because it came in, say, double left, double right. So I was assuming he wants them panned, right? So we're going to take a listen and see what we got and come up with some ideas of what we think the song needs in order to make it cut through. So let's check it out.
Been dreaming on a million, chilling still on the grind. Feel like these demons in my closet, they don't want me to shine. But I've been picking up the pieces, going through in my mind. They setting traps, but I'ma see how to avoid them this time. Was 16, just selling tickets, hoping people would show up. Filled out of class, I never listened when they told me to grow up. Going through schemes in my head, thinking how I could blow up. Chilling in the penthouse, elevators we go up. Some people rather have a million than a million friends. Some people rather have a Prius than be pushing the Benz. Me, I'd rather get.
Okay, so you can see I actually turned the ad-libs down a bit. They were just way too loud, so I figured that could be a good move. A lot of times one of the first things I do is just use faders and try to get through the mix as far as I can just using faders. So seeing how we only got 3 tracks, that doesn't take very long. Another thing I want to do is take these 2 tracks and add them to a bus, or bus them rather, and just call this verse ad-libs, so I can treat these 2 at the same time on one track. That's the only reason I'm doing that. So other than that, I feel like the vocals could be pushed out a bit more, a little brighter, a little crispier. There's a little bit of mud that we could take out in the lower mids, and then just maybe give it a little effect. Not much. This isn't like some crazy trap record or a pop song, so we want to be kind of minimal on the effects, but we can do some cool stuff maybe with the ad-libs as far as effects. So first things first, all I've done as far as understanding these plugins is go through them. So I know what will work, and that's about it. So the first thing I want to bring out is maybe an EQ. And what we're going to do is just a basic low cut here. Here's a low cut. And let's bring it down.
Been dreaming on a million, chilling still on the grind. Feel like these demons in my closet, they don't want me to shine. But I've been picking up the pieces, going through in my mind. They setting traps, but I'ma see how to avoid them this time. Was 16, just selling tickets, hoping people would show up.
So we just do that just to get rid of any kind of low hum or rumble, or if he kicked the mic stand. It can also help with plosives a little bit. So just a little bit of shelf, and that's all we're going to do at first for that. Then the second thing I want to bring in is some sort of compressor. We'll try this fat channel because it has a compressor that I use a lot, which is, this one's great, but also this tube one I tend to use a lot on vocals. I use a UAD version. So let's see if we can make this sound somewhat good and kind of give us that flavor.
Been dreaming on a million, chilling still on the grind. Feel like these demons in my closet, they don't want me to shine. But I've been picking up the pieces, going through in my mind. They setting traps, but I'ma see how to avoid them this time. Was 16, just selling tickets, hoping people would show up. Filled out of class, I never listened when they told me to grow up. Going through schemes in my head, thinking how I could blow up. To chilling in the penthouse, elevators we go up. Some people rather have a million than a million friends.
So that's good. That just helps kind of tame the vocal, pushes it out a bit more. This thing reacts a little bit faster than most LA2As I know, but definitely gives it that sound a little bit and helped it push it. And so we don't have to hit it that hard because you don't want the sound compressed. You just want to pull the vocal dynamics a little tighter so you can push it out in front of you in the mix. So that's pretty good right there. Next thing I think we could do is find some sort of multi-band compressor. Here we go. And get rid of some unwanted frequencies that we might have. There's some that low, a little bit of low mud, and maybe a little of the mid-range might get a little harsh once we start boosting EQs and stuff. So let's take a listen and see what we can find here. We're going to do the low, mid, solo that so we can hear it. And I don't want auto speed. I want a medium attack, and kind of that should be good for our release for now.
Been dreaming on a million, chilling still on the grind. Feel like these demons in my closet, they don't want me to shine. But I've been picking up the pieces, going through in my mind. They're setting traps, but I'ma see how to avoid them this time. Was 16 to selling tickets, hoping people would show up. Stood out of class and never listened when they told me to grow up. Going through schemes in my head, thinking how I could blow up. To chilling in the penthouse, elevators we go up. Some people rather have a million than a million friends. Some people rather have a Prius than me pushing a Benz. And me, I'd rather get blunted than get drinks with some friends. I spent some time in Hollywood, but I don't be in this mess. How come a lot of dudes preach, but the roles on lease? I've been dreaming on a million, chilling still on the grind. Feel like I've been dreaming on a million, chilling still on the grind. Been dreaming on a million, chilling still on the grind. Been dreaming on a million, chilling still on the grind.
So that helps just get a little bit of the rumble out here and there. Not too much going on there. And then let's get rid of some of this mid-range.
Been dreaming on a million, chilling still on the grind. Feel like these demons in my closet, they don't want me to shine. But I've been picking up the pieces, going through in my mind. They setting traps, but I'ma see how to avoid them this time. Was 16 to selling tickets, hoping people would show up. Filled out of class and never listened when they told me to grow up. Going through schemes in my head, thinking how I could blow up. To chilling in the penthouse, elevators we go up. Some people rather have a million than a million friends. Some people rather have a Prius than me pushing a Benz. And me, I'd rather get blunted than get drinks with.
So if you can tell, just turning that on and off, we're kind of just cleaning up the vocal. I use multiband compressors on vocals a lot, just for the simple fact to clean them up. And then lastly, we're going to take this guy. Let me see if this affects that. We're actually going to use another multiband, because if I move that, we're going to lose what we got going on here. So I'd close that one, grab another multiband, and then this one I'm going to focus on just the high end and get some of the S's and stuff that I'm not liking. That's stuff like that.
To chilling in the penthouse, elevators we go up. Some people rather have a million than a million friends. Been dreaming on a million, chilling still on the grind. Feel like these demons in. Been dreaming on a million, chilling still on the grind. Feel like these demons in my closet, they don't want me to shine. But I've been picking up the pieces, going through in my mind. They setting traps, but I'ma see how to avoid them this time. Was 16 to selling tickets, hoping people would show up. Filled out of class and never listened when they told me to grow up. Going through schemes in my head, thinking how I could blow up. To chilling in the penthouse.
So as you can hear by turning those on and off, just kind of, we heard with it, without it, we can hear the vocals pushing up. It's a little bit cleaner now, and we're on the right track to getting this to sound right. So next what we're going to do is, actually let's pull up that fat channel again. Where is that? So this is going to be more of a kind of a color EQ kind of idea. And this is going to give us, just to make his vocals sound a bit better. Let's see what we got. We got a pull text style or a Neve, which are both great options. Let's go with the pull text. So we're going to boost this at 16, and we're just going to boost the high end, brighten them up, make them sound a little more expensive, and see what that does for us.
Been dreaming on a million, chilling still on the grind. Feel like these demons in my closet, they don't want me to shine. But I've been picking up the pieces, going through in my mind. They setting traps, but I'ma see how to avoid them this time. Was 16 to selling tickets, hoping people would show up. Filled out of class and never listened when they told me to grow up. Going through schemes in my head, thinking how I could blow up. To chilling in the penthouse, elevators we go up. Some people rather have a million than a million friends. Some people rather have a Prius than me pushing a Benz. And me, I'd rather get blunted than get drinks with some friends. I spent some time in Hollywood, but I don't be in this mess. How come a lot of dudes preach, but the role's on lease? I'm in the cold to next week, 'cause Beantown's on freeze. And when I wonder when it's worth it, try and remember that I'm living with this purpose. Yeah. Been dreaming on a million, chilling still on the grind. Feel like these demons in my closet, they don't want me to shine. But I've been picking up the pieces, going through in my mind. They setting traps, but I'ma see how to avoid them this time. Was 16 to selling tickets, hoping people would show up. Filled out of class and never listened when they told me to grow up. Going through schemes in my.
Okay, so we're going to add one more. I'm just going to get a little more high end with something different. Oh, there's the high end filter.
Been dreaming on a million, chillin' still on the grind. Feel like these demons in my closet, they don't want me to shine. But I've been picking up the pieces, going through in my mind. They setting traps, but I'ma see how to avoid them this time. Was 16 just selling tickets, hoping people.
So that sounded pretty good now. Let's hear it just with and without it.
Been dreaming on a million, chillin' still on the grind. Feel like these demons in my closet, they don't want me to shine. But I've been picking up the pieces, going.
So that feels pretty good. One last thing we're gonna do is add one more compressor, and I'm just going to compress the living daylights out of this vocal and then mix it in. This is like a little bit of parallel compression.
Been dreaming on a million, chillin' still on the grind. Feel like these demons in my closet, they don't want me to shine. But I've been picking up the pieces, going through in my mind. They setting traps, but I'ma see how to avoid them this time. Was 16 just selling tickets, hoping people would show up. Filled out of class and never listened when they told me to grow up. Going through, been dreaming on a million, chillin' still on the grind. Feel like these demons in my closet, they don't want me to shine. But I've been picking up the pieces, going through in my mind. They setting traps, but I'ma see how to avoid them this time. Was 16 just selling tickets, hoping people would show up. Filled out of class and never listened when they told me to grow up. Going through schemes in my head, thinking how I could blow up. To chilling in the penthouse, elevators we go up. Some people rather have a million than a million friends.
Okay, so we're almost there. See, sometimes as you keep mixing, you keep hearing things. I'm still getting a little bit of somewhere in the low end I don't like, so I'm gonna try to EQ that out now.
Been dreaming on a million, chillin' still on the grind. Feel like these demons in my closet, they don't want me to shine. But I've been picking up the pieces, going through in my mind. They setting traps, but I'ma see how to avoid them this time. Was 16 just selling tickets, hoping people would show up. Filled out of class and never listened when they told me to grow up. Going through schemes in my head, thinking how I could blow up. To chilling in the penthouse, elevators we go up. Some people rather have a million than a million friends. Some people rather have a Prius than me pushing the Benz. And me, I'd rather get blunted than get drinks with some friends. I spent some time in Hollywood, but I don't be in this. Been dreaming on a million, chillin' still on the grind. Been dreaming on a million, chillin' still on the grind. Feel like these demons in my closet.
So that sounds pretty good. Let's hear it with the music and see where we're at.
Been dreaming on a million, chillin' still on the grind. Feel like these demons in my closet, they don't want me to shine. But I've been picking up the pieces, going through in my mind. They setting traps, but I'ma see how to avoid them this time. Was 16 just selling tickets, hoping people would show up. Filled out of class and never listened when they been dreaming on a million, chillin' still on the grind. Feel like these demons in my closet, they don't want me to shine. But I've been picking up the pieces, going through. Been dreaming on a million, chillin' still on the grind. Feel like these demons in my closet, they don't want me to shine.
So I think we actually, achieved what we were trying to go through. We wanted to push the vocal up forward, brighten it up a little bit, give it a little excitement, and it's feeling pretty good in the mix now. So now let's throw in just a little bit of reverb. We're just going to take the room reverb and throw it on the send here.
Been dreaming on a million, chillin' still on the grind. Feel like these demons in my closet, they don't want.
I'm going to bring down this pre-delay. I don't want really much pre-delay, maybe a little bit. Why does that go away? Oh, I see. Interesting.
Been dreaming on a million, chillin' still on the grind. Feel like these demons in my closet, they don't want me to shine. But I've been picking up the pieces, going through in my mind. They setting traps, but I'ma see how to avoid them this time. Was 16 just selling tickets, hoping people would show up. Filled out of class and never listened when they told me to grow up. Going through schemes in my head, thinking how I could blow up. To chillin' in the pen.
So that's the thing. We're just going to give it a little bit of room. We don't want it to sound like an effect. We just want to give it a little more air, a little more brightness. And the reverb can sometimes do that, just make them feel a little bit bigger. Another thing we could do is add a bit of chorus maybe. And I believe they got a chorus in here. Groove. Here it is, chorus. Let's see what this can do. So we'll throw this guy on.
Been dreaming on a million, chillin' still on the grind. Feel like these demons in my closet, they don't want me to shine. But I've been picking up the pieces, going through in my mind. They setting traps, but I'ma see how to avoid them this time. Was 16 just selling tickets, hoping people would show up. Filled out of class and never listened when they told me to grow up. Going through schemes in my head, thinking how I could blow up. To chillin' in the.
Just gonna leave a little bit of that on there, nothing too crazy. And then lastly, let's find a delay. Where's the delay? Analog delay. Okay.
Been dreaming on a million, chillin' still on the grind. Feel like these demons in my closet, they don't want me to shine.
So we're gonna take it out of sync mode, and we're just gonna bring this delay down like 100 milliseconds area, kind of like a slap delay. Now it will sound weird when it's really loud, but once we turn it down, it kind of thickens them up a little.
Been Dreaming on a million, chillin' still on the grind. Feel like these demons in my closet, they don't want me to shine. But I've been picking up the pieces, going through in my mind. They setting traps, but I'ma see how to avoid them this time. Was 16 just selling tickets, hoping people would show up. Filled out of class and never listened when they told me to grow up. Going through schemes in my head, thinking how I could blow up. To chillin' in the penthouse, elevators we go up. Some people rather have a million than a million.
So there we go. This is without.
Been dreaming on a million, chillin' still on the grind. Feel like these demons in my closet. Been dreaming on a million, chillin' still on the grind. Feel like these demons in my closet, they don't want me to shine.
It's quite a big difference in just using stock plugins. Now, for the ad-libs, what we could do, just for the lack of time we have in this video, and I'm sure you don't want to see me EQ everything again, we can throw those over there and all these choruses and analog delays, and then maybe just take off these fat channels, so that way or maybe just take off, which one we got here? Let's just take the Pultec one off. That way it's not as bright as the main vocal, and it kind of gives it a different sound, and maybe we can boost a little bit around 4K, which will give it, just kind of widen up in a different place, give it a little more brightness in a different place than where the main vocal is. Sometimes that's a cool way to differentiate the verse and the ad-libs so that they're different sounding. So let's check it out now with the ad-libs and see where we're at.
Been dreaming on a million, chillin' still on the grind. Feel like these demons in my closet, they don't want me to shine. But I've been picking up the pieces, going through in my mind. They setting traps, but I'ma see how to avoid them this time. Was 16 just selling tickets, hoping people would show up. Filled out of class and never listened when they told me to grow up. Going through schemes in my head, thinking how I could blow up. To chillin' in the penthouse, elevators we go up. Some people rather have a million than a million friends. Some people rather have a Prius than be pushing the Benz. And me, I'd rather get blunted than get drinks with some friends. I spent some time in Hollywood, but I don't be in this mess. How come a lot of dudes preach, but the role's on lease? I'm in the cold till next week, speed towns on freeze. And when I wonder when it's worth it.
So there you go. Just some, quick things to do, see if we can make it sound good. I think we did a pretty good job just using the stock plugins, which goes to show you that if you use the stock plugins and tweak them enough, you can get a pretty good mix just using those. So I know a lot of you guys are always worried about which plugin to get, and you don't necessarily need them all. A lot of those plugins can do great work. So let me know what you guys think of the mix in the comments below. Please like and subscribe if you can. If you need your song mixed and mastered, hit me up at mixandmastermysong.com, and you can actually check out my new courses where I go really deep dive into mixing and mastering on that site as well. So talk to you guys soon.